Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I am here with day 5 of Scraptember 2023, a hop started by Laura Alberts and the Scrappy Sisters, where they give us a prompt every day. And this one for today is 6x6 paper pads. And so I am going to use this I Love School 6x6 paper pad. It is the end of the line. I'm hoping to use up the majority of it on this layout, or at least quite a bit. And I have these pictures of my kids on the first day of 2nd and 9th grade. And I have some scraps left over from a couple of Echo Park collections that I've pretty much burned through. It's Back to School, I Love School, and School Rules, I think is the three. All those papers and leftovers are combined. And then I've got, of course, some embellishments and stuff. So I'm going to use up some scraps as well as much of the paper pad as I can. And I have a little Post-it note that I kind of drew a little sketch on. I got the idea from Sandy, which is State Goddess here, and I don't know if she'll be following along this month or not, but she's one of my absolute favorites and the reason that I started YouTubing. So anyway, I've got my papers, my embellishments, my pictures, my little off the wall sketch. So let's see how this goes. So anyway, I pulled all the papers out of the 6x6 paper pad. That way I could just put them all with the scraps that are left over from the school collections and tuck those in a little safe space right near me so that I can just grab a hold of them whenever I need them. And so I complete this layout, and I use quite a bit. Now that big black square with the alphas on it and that yellow star paper that you just saw, I don't even mess with those because they're big enough for me to do another layout with later. And that star paper does not necessarily need to be school related. Not that anything necessarily has to be, but it doesn't have anything to do with school per se. So I just set those aside. I really want to use up these things that are very school specific, like the apples and the like notebook paper. There's some crayons, some scissors, like different things like that. I was wanting to use as much of that stuff up as I could. So I start with all the 6x6s and I just start tearing for the most part. I do have some that are already cut. And so it's a little bit of tearing paper and a little bit of cut paper. And I'm okay with that. I like the how it changes and it's a little bit different, because if it's all the same, then, nothing stands out, all the time. So it's a little bit of straight and a little bit of torn. That little piece with the pencils on it right there is actually a cut apart that just was left over and it worked for me. So I just did some hodgepodge at the bottom, and now I'm going to make a little hodgepodge up at the top. I really stick pretty close to my little Post-it note sketch. I was waiting for a video to load, and I couldn't use my phone, and I was watching something on Netflix, so I couldn't use my iPad, and so I decided that I would just start looking through the prompts, and the ones that didn't have a sketch or like a scrap lift to go with it, I decided I would just kind of sketch out some ideas for what I wanted to do, because I watched I think it might have been a live that I was on, where Sandy had created herself a little Post-it note sketch. And so I thought that was fun because then, Post-it notes are square, so they're the same size as your layout. And so I thought that that would be a neat little way to kind of kill the time while I was waiting, but still be productive. And I think I'll show it again, but I'm stuck pretty darn close to the concept that I had with using the 6x6 papers down the bottom part and then having that little cluster up at the top. And I really like the way this turned out. It seems a little chaotic because the papers are kind of all over the place, but I really like it. And if you've ever had children going to school, especially two of them, life is chaotic. So, So I have this back to school sticker that I want to use. I want to use this schoolhouse. I want to use this school bus. Neither one of them took a bus this year at all, but I don't care. If it's school related, I feel like a bus is perfectly appropriate, even if your kid didn't ride a bus. And my son has maybe, I don't know, I think he rode a bus one school year. Maybe. And my daughter didn't. I'm not sure she ever rode the bus. Oh, yeah, maybe once in middle school. So I take them in the morning, and then sometimes I have to ride the bus home, I guess. So, but they don't typically go on the bus in the mornings. So trying to get them out the door is chaotic. So that's okay. Um, so I've got this is from a paper pad. One of the 6x6 paper pads is a bunch of little chalkboards that have little phrases on them. And I decided I'd just pull some out, any of them that fit, and I would use those kind of scattered across the page. So I think there were 5 of them. And then this sticker I think says back to school, and it wasn't going to stand out on the black background paper, and so I decided I would mat it on some torn leftover bits and pieces. And I love the way this looks, and this is a really good way to use up little bits of scraps, hence why I didn't cut this out. I'm so sorry. But this is a really good way to use up scraps, especially small ones, and it validates my reasonings for not throwing away the little pieces of paper. Although, I'm doing better, you all. See, none of this stuff that I'm tearing right here gets kept. I throw it all in the trash. Although this is pretty small. I'm doing much better with not keeping everything. It's got to be, a decent size for me to keep it. So, I did tear it up a little bit, but I wanted it to look worn out and stuff. And I think it's really cute. Like, I think that it goes with the whole theme of the layout. And then I felt like I needed a little bit more, so I got my white moon Jelly Roll Moonlight pen, and I wrote a 2 next to his picture and an 8 or a 9 next to hers. And then I'm just going to take the Jelly Roll and kind of do a little doodly line all around the outline of the picture and connect it to the 2. So, and then I'm going to pull these Hip Kit Club alphas that I regret every day that I didn't get more than just one set of, and put 2016 because that is the year that this was taken. And I think that that's it, you all. I love how this turned out. Like I said, it's really, really close to what I had on my little post-it note. Oh, and I finished it off with some Ranger acrylic, Ranger enamel dots. There we go. And here is the close-up. I love how this turned out, you all. I mean, it literally could be a bunch of trash because some of those pieces are so small, but it's a whole lot of fun, and I'm excited. I hope you all are hopping around on the playlist because that's where all the Scraptember stuff is going to be from all the fabulous people who are creating. I hope you'll check it out and maybe get involved and do some, use the prompts to encourage you to get some stuff done too. Here's that little hand sketch. See, not too bad. So I hope you'll come back and see me again. I'm here every day this month, I hope. I would love it if you'd give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Hope you have a great day. Hope you get a chance today to do something you love with someone you love. Happy scrapping.